I've it'll April next month will be 1 year since I moved here, right? And built out a home gym. And I've heard more now how lucky I am for having a home gym than ever, right? And I just want to say that's not how it works, even a little bit. As you know, if you start doing things, man, that other people aren't doing, they'll they're always going to have something to say. That's bad, that's good. Someone's always going to have something to say. But I've been hearing the "you lucky" stuff for so long that I'm numb to it. I am. I've always lived in a vicinity of the gym I was going to. So when I would go to the El Cajon Sport, when I lived in El Cajon, it would be like, man, you lucky you live a block away from the gym. When I was working out on the ship, my opinion, I think amphibious assault ships had the best gym setups. Man, you lucky you on an amphib. Like, I'm not your detailer, and I didn't tell you to pick the job that you're in. So, right. When I was running the stairs back when I had my old condo, people would be like, man, you lucky you got those stairs by by where you live. Yeah, I think it's always going to be like that. But if it's something that is not a priority for you to utilize, you're not going to do it. It don't matter how accessible it is. I think we know that. That's why I tell people when it comes to working out, I made it something that I have to do. I got to work in order to provide for my family. I gotta eat. I gotta sleep. Right? Like, and when I made it like that, it don't matter if I feel like doing it. 365 days a year, I can promise you, most of that I don't be feeling like doing it, but it's just like it's default mode. That's why I tell people when people say, man, I wish I had that discipline, you do. It's just where you pointing it. That voice that's in your head that's causing you to make the decision to do whatever it is you do, bad or good, that's your discipline. That default mode, and you got to get it there. And when you get it there, it ain't no problem. You don't worry about who sees the post and if they liking it or if people believe you. Like, people will argue with you if somebody say, "Man, I'm about to start working out." You kind of give them a look like, all right, if they laid the pattern that they started and stopped, then they'll get upset. When you get it down, it don't matter who believe you or not. You get it to that point. But here's some advice, and you ain't got to take it. Like, I ain't nobody. I say it all the time. What helped me stick with it? For one, I was overweight. Some people will tell you they love that. They love how, they love themselves how they were, and I just didn't. I was 300 pounds. I didn't love any of that. I was on blood pressure and cholesterol medications in my 20s. And it was a phone call with my grandfather. And it was just after so many years of lying. I went in for in the military, you got to go for what they call birth month recall. So every time your birthday month will come up in that year, you have to go in for your checkup. And you had to, because you couldn't go on leave or just a bunch of stuff. I don't know if they still do it or not. And I would go in there, and when I was in that stage, when I was overweight, my blood pressure was high, and they were monitoring it. And they would ask me, hey, did this run in your family? And I would lie and say no, or yes, whatever vibe I would pick up whatever I thought they wanted to hear. But I started getting worried about it. And I called my mom, and she said, call your grandfather. And I was talking to him, and he said, yeah, it runs on this side of the family. And he said, they got you on any medication? I said, they about to put me on something called Zocor. He said, Mike, I'm on that. That's when it hit me, but I didn't change until my son was born. So that was the reason that I really started changing. That moment, I felt, man, I got to do something about this. The next reason is, and it's going to be dark, and I don't want to hit you with dark Monday morning, but I had a son. And I remember seeing this clip here.
Were there certain characteristics that you looked for in children before molesting them?
In children, yes, but more I also looked at their families. If I thought the father was a threat, I would not approach the child.
I know, that's chilling, right? And that dude had like hundreds of victims. So being a father, that was another reason. I wanted to make sure that even if I wasn't around, or even if it was a certain percentage that would cause my son to be able to avoid a situation like that, I got to keep it in check. Just in general, I told you about what happened when the young kids that did the door kicking challenge on my door. When I caught up with them, it was they had a look to where, oh man, I shouldn't have did that. And I told my girl, either it's gonna keep happening, it's gonna get worse, or those two won't come back, because and I wasn't gonna put my hand on nobody's kids, but when I caught up to them, you could see it. You can kind of see it in their eyes. Hey man, what the hell we did? Why we do that? You know, my advice is if you're 20s and 30s, try to get it down now. Because me being 45, I'll be 46 this year. It's tougher as you get older, especially when you got injuries and stuff like that. Because now you got to start finding a way to kind of deal with those, and I have a whole different routine that I do before I get down here and start lifting at 315. So you got to try to get it in check. If you're in the military, definitely try to get it in check and keep it in check, or try your best to keep it in check when you get out. Because Uncle Sam ain't gonna be there no more to remind you. Like in the Navy, we used to have a plan of the day. Every time a PRT, a fitness readiness test, that time will come, you're kind of like bombarded with it. There's reminders, hey, weigh-ins are this day, and they just keep reminding you. So you got that. When you get out, you don't have that. And I think that is troublesome for a lot of people when it comes time to leave the military. They get out and they just let it go. And then next thing you know, you roll up to somebody that was in the military with you, and they like, yeah, man. I get it all the time. They be like, yeah, man, I see you still on that working out stuff, man. I'm just enjoying this retirement life. Yeah, me too. I got a DD 214 for my time served. I didn't want two. I didn't want to get one for the body. So you make it a habit. Make it a habit. You make it a habit, you ain't got to be worrying about who believes you or not, or if you're inspirational or not. And I promise you that from the people that I know over the years, the mutuals, the reason people don't like it is because I've been doing it for a while. It's like I've said before, it's like a song. And if you're singing a song, that song might be popular at first. Everyone's singing it. It's on every radio station. But if you keep singing that same song, that's you that song. And a lot of people stop wanting to hear that song. And, it don't matter, how consistent you are, how many years of just established discipline that you share. And I'll continue to share the information because I think it's valuable. Those people that can't really get it down, they're going to take it as, oh man, here he go again, showing off who he think he is. And that's not it, man. But it shouldn't matter what they think anyway. But I'm telling you, if you get it down, give it some time. I used to get a lot of Instagram likes back when I first started posting, 2013 and 14. Friends, family, man, I see you. Then it just started, the jokes start coming, the shade start coming, the steroid accusations, all types of stuff. And this is like from people that saw me every day getting up. Like when I was, in the Navy, I was walking past people on the ship, 1 a.m., we in the port. It was the same grind. But if I'm going to talk to you about discipline and consistency, and I'm just talking about education, yeah, I want to present that as well. So yeah, just try to make it a habit. If you make it a habit and you have your reasoning, it's normal. Like when I used to go to a lot of these gyms, it was always at the same time, same crew. A lot of the stuff and the issues that you see, you see in gyms, I never really saw them because we used to go at the same time. And, people were like, man, people shouldn't record in gyms. Well, I was recording, so I didn't care. But outside of like old dudes, like trying to hold conversations with you, being buck naked, you never really had any issues, man. Yes, sometimes people using dumbbells you might want to use. So you either go up or you go down in weight. But it wasn't like a YouTubeable or TikTok worthy to complain about. You just got in, Same crew, man. It was like y'all was working at the same job. And that's what it is. So when I had the opportunity to build my own space, it was COVID that showed me that I could do it. Because before that, no, dude. People would be like, man, you ever thought about getting a home gym? Heck nah, man. Why? When I got the gym up the street. You ever thought about starting a gym? Nah, I like the gym, man. I like the atmosphere. But once COVID happened and I was working out in my living room, I was like, man, I'm getting some great workouts in here in this limited space, because I realized then when the gym was snatched away from me during COVID, how much I loved it and how much I needed it and how much I didn't have to be motivated to do it. So when I moved here, when we were looking for spots, my girl would look at everything else. I would go straight to the garage, and I used to go with like a tape measure. Like, if I have a space, man, I'm going to do this. And I had it all laid out. So I'm just serious about it. A lot of people that say that you lucky stuff, man, you could give them the keys to the castle, the blueprint. That don't mean they're going to use it. I posted yesterday all the degrees, because a lot of people still get offended, even though I'll lay out every detail, because I want people to win. And that's still like, well, I wasn't able to join the military. That's the same people that didn't decide to rent an apartment or buy a home next to a gym. I can't control that. I can tell you what I did and what worked for me. But health is literally wealth. It is, man. Everybody won't like it. And I get that all the time. Like, I post the same stuff on every platform, man. People on LinkedIn, man, you be posting that working out stuff. It's a professional site. So being in shape isn't like a professional asset. I'm never going to call in sick. I barely take leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I ever got to present whatever we're talking about, I'm going to be well kept. There's a lot of wins to it, man. But because we're in this weird spot in the world, when you work out and you stick to it, it has to be a reason. Main reason was that clip I showed you, man, being a father and youngsters kicking on your door, and just, some of peers and colleagues that I've had along the years, man, that just ain't doing so well because they didn't take care of that. Especially cats I know that got out the military. It's rough to see. Like, Uncle Sam has control over us while you're in. He tell you what time to wake up, what time to go to sleep. He tell you what time you got to work out, when you got to work out. But when you get out, it's like free game out here. So that's just my take on it. Mic'd up Mike, Monday morning. Why I'm able to stick to it. Like, it hasn't been about because I felt like it in so many years. There are some mornings, like when I used to go to that Balboa Sport Gym, they had the best treadmills. I would drive 30 minutes over there just to go do my hour cardio on the treadmill and then get up out of there. Maybe go do a little quick lift. But I haven't really been to the point to where fire's coming out of my eyes and Rocky theme music is playing. But even when I don't feel like it, once you start, you usually good. Get a little sweat going. So, like I say, man, I don't care. If you have any questions, hit me up. If it's something I told you before, you got to look at what I told you. Because I ain't changed. Like, I do a lot of the same workouts now. It's normal, man. I'm about to be 40. I want to be that 50-year-old, man. I got abs, man. I want to be that. To me, that's a personal goal. That's like getting a doctorate. It's a personal goal. And then I can use that to inspire somebody that's my age or whatever that's thinking about doing that stuff. But yeah, that's my take.